We're here at Vanderbilt Catholic High School in Houma in an exciting time as we return to school. As Bishop Fobb has said, he hears school bells in the distance, and they're getting closer. Here at Vanderbilt, a little bit of a change. New administration, and including a new principal, Ginny Medina-Hamilton. Ginny's with us right now. And Ginny, I mean, obviously an exciting time for you, exciting time for your family. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. But, you know, you are coming to us for the third time. You were here as a student. You were here as a teacher years ago, but now back as the principal. You had a great position before, let's be honest, in the #1 public school system in Louisiana, in St. Charles Parish, in the central office, but decided to come home to your alma mater. The obvious question is, why?
That is a wonderful question, and one that my family and I prayed an awful lot about. You know, I kept hearing that little voice saying, you need to apply, and I'm like, no, I really have a great job, I like what I'm doing, and that little voice stayed there, and I had to take a big breath and decide to listen. And you know, sometimes in our rush to do things in our lives, we forget to take a breath and listen to what God is trying to tell us. And so I feel that taking that breath and listening encouraged me to say, okay, let me apply and let me see what's happening. And a lot of the reason that I applied is because of the time that I have spent here at Vanderbilt in the past. So as a student, I was here. I graduated from here in the 90s, and I attended here most of my time through a tuition assistance program. I'm the first American born in my family, and my mom and dad, it was a priority for them for me to come to Vanderbilt Catholic High School, and because it was a priority for them and so important to them for me to have this Catholic education, it was then obviously important to Vanderbilt Catholic, to the teachers here, and to the Brothers of the Sacred Heart. And through that, and the charity of our friends and family, and the support of the faculty and the brothers, I was able to graduate from Vanderbilt Catholic and do everything that I ever wanted to do in high school here, through theater and music and all the clubs and all the friends that I developed here. Mm-hmm. So my reasoning and part of the call for me was to be able to come back and be able to offer those same opportunities to the students here that were offered to me through our faculty and our Brothers of the Sacred Heart, to give that opportunity to a student who wants to feel part of a greater Catholic community, but also as a very important individual who needs their own needs met and has a trajectory that is their very own and needs that support to get there.
And again, for people to be even more familiar with you, you've come back, but you came back before you came back, because after graduating from college, you actually were on the faculty here at Vanderbilt.
Yes.
You might make us aware of that little bit of history.
Yes, so when I graduated from college, I applied and was hired here at Vanderbilt, and I taught here for 9 years. So I taught Spanish 1, 2, and 3. I taught choir, advanced and beginning. I taught music appreciation, computer applications, and reading skills. You know, as so many of our teachers here at Vanderbilt, we are, very versatile and making sure that we are able to meet the needs of all of our students. So I loved that time here. That's where we did a lot of musical theater. That was my after-school niche, and still have such amazing and wonderful relationships with former students because of that. Speaking of which, I have so many of those former students here on campus who are now my colleagues, and that's such an exciting time and such a wonderful thing to see.
Before we talk a little bit more specifically about maybe some of your goals, things you would like to accomplish here at Vanderbilt, let's talk a little bit about your family. Yeah. Your husband is on the staff here as well, and both of your children are here attending school. So what is that like?
So my kids, believe it or not, are actually fairly excited about my being here. They're very supportive. I have a sophomore and a senior already. So it's, they're happy about it. They're happy about me being closer to home. And we talked a lot about, what it's going to be like for me to be on campus with them. Now, Vanderbilt is a very family-oriented community, and so many of our students are here with their parents. So it's not completely out of the ordinary, but it is new for our family. And then my husband, of course, is now the Director of Advancement and Alumni Affairs, and he's been here for many, many years. We were actually in high school together at the same time. We didn't know each other at that time, but And then we taught together here when I was teaching the first time.
Now that you're here, school is starting as we're doing this interview literally in a few days from now, and the anxiety kicks in. And we've been seeing, as we're here today, we're seeing all the faculty walking around and getting their classrooms finalized for the first day of school. For you, many years as an educator, many years at central office, at the higher levels of administration, but first time as an administrator in the sense of actually being a principal of a school, much less it is your own alma mater. What are the feelings kind of going through Ginny Medina-Hamilton right now as we're having this conversation where you're almost down to counting the hours to when it actually starts?
So it's a little different than what I dreamt it would be, being that we are in a different situation with the pandemic. But I have to say, my anxiety of presenting to the faculty, with my whole team about what we needed to do for our reopening plan. As soon as I started speaking with them, their openness and their willingness to do whatever it takes to keep each other and students safe was phenomenal. I likened it today to, there's that, when you're teaching, there's that one class that you go in and they inspire you to be better and inspire you to work and to be at your top of your game. And that's how I feel when after I started speaking with this faculty and they were giving their feedback, I felt like, okay, this group inspires me. This group is really making me be the best that I can be so I can give that back to them. So it was just, even though it was a lot of heavy information and these first 2 days of professional learning, it was well received by the faculty. They have a lot to process, and I feel for them, and just like I do for our whole team. But they're going through it, and they are making it happen. So it feels wonderful. It feels great to be with colleagues who I once taught, colleagues that I have taught with, and colleagues who taught me, all in one building. So it's wonderful.
A lot for you to be proud of right now, a lot for you to think about. And again, Vanderbilt Catholic High School has a great reputation, obviously academically, certainly athletically, and you think of band and choir and Key Club and campus ministry, and there's so many things that, y'all don't just do extracurricular or offer extracurricular, you do it well. So as you think back of all of those things, like, wow, what a wonderful, nice package. But I guess the bow that you tie on that nice package is Catholic identity.
Absolutely.
The Catholic identity of this school, and I'm sure that's something you would like to address.
Absolutely. So, our mission, of course, is rooted in our Catholic identity. And we have one of the first priorities in our reopening plan was making sure that Catholic identity was stressed throughout everything that we did, and making sure that our students were going to be able to attend Mass, and that it was going to be an authentic experience for them, and that if not every student was attending Mass in the way that or in the same routine that we've had in the past, what are we doing to help them and promote that Catholic identity? And I've worked so much with our campus ministry and our administration to make sure that through this reopening time that we're not losing sight of that. Vanderbilt Catholic does a wonderful job of keeping that Catholic identity as part of everything that we do when we are running normally, and it is one of those things that we are stressing even more so, especially during this reopening time, during the pandemic, because it can be something that we lose sight of in our stress and nervousness, about getting things right for the safety and health of our students, that we have to remember that safety and health of our students is rooted in our Catholic identity. And if we are truly following that, then we are good to go.
It's an unprecedented time in our world, here at Vanderbilt, everywhere, as we're dealing, still with the coronavirus. And as you said, not the way you would have thought you would have started your administrative career. But as parents of your students are watching this right now, and they're getting to learn more about their students' principal, maybe some reassuring words to them about, hey, we know it's going to be different. We know it's unprecedented. We know that, it's going to be tough, and things will not be like when you were in high school, but kind of reassuring words for that to maybe calm that anxiety that some have about, I'm just a little nervous about little Johnny going to school, regardless of grade he is. We get it. You're a parent yourself,
Absolutely.
and you get it. It's tough.
Absolutely. And like I said earlier, one of the things and the feedback that we heard from our faculty is how excited they are that everyone is ready to be here and do what it takes. Our teachers are going through that plan inside and out to make sure that we are cleaning classrooms, that we are monitoring students, that we know, we are following our lunch procedures, which are very different, that we are trying to find ways to still keep our spirits up without having assemblies like pep rallies and those large groups that we love so much. But for the safety and health of our students, we can't have those now. So our teachers are like, okay, so we know we still need these things to happen because this is what's addressing the social and emotional health of our students. So what are ways that, how do we think outside the box? But as far as encouraging parents and letting them know, our teachers, their hearts are bigger than this entire school, and they are truly dedicated to following this plan. We met with TGMC yesterday, who came and did an entire presentation and a question and answer session with our faculty so that we were well aware of how to best mitigate the spread of COVID-19, what we need to do to take care of ourselves as teachers and colleagues, and also and especially how to take care of our students during all times here at school, whether in the class, recess, lunch, dismissal, arrival, after-school activities, athletics, band, choir, everything that we do. So they're on it, and we are even on Friday practicing. And like we do with kids, we're saying, okay, we're going to practice what it's going to look like to come into school and get your temperatures taken. So you 5 are going to pretend you're seniors, and you 5 are going to pretend you're 8th graders, and we're actually going to walk through that so that our teachers are comfortable when the students arrive. And then next week, which is orientation week, we'll only have 1 class a day, so that the students can practice the procedures as well as the teachers practicing the procedures. And then also that gives us a little time to see if we need to have any mid-course corrections before we have all students on campus on Monday, the 17th. So we've got a plan in place to make sure that we know it may not be perfect, but we know that when we need to fix it so that we can have it by that time.
Gotcha. One final question. It would be so obvious to ask, well, what are your 5-year goals? And maybe that's cliche and it's so obvious, but it's your first time. Here's your opportunity. So really the way I'm going to phrase that question instead is, at the end of a long day, maybe the end of a long week, maybe the end of the school year, for Ginny Medina-Hamilton, what is success? How will you know at the end of a day or end of a week that, man, that was a good week at Vanderbilt Catholic? I mean, how do you, maybe in your own mind with your expertise and your talent, how do you judge that? What is success, and what are you hoping to achieve at the end of whatever benchmark you set, whether it's a week, month, or an entire school year? That's
an excellent question. One of the things that we've been working a lot with in these, and I know it sounds like a small thing, but it is a big thing. It's creating a culture of providing respectfully honest feedback at all times. And I am pushing and challenging our faculty that through every encounter that I have with them, that they're to provide respectful and honest feedback back to me, that I as a leader need to be held accountable, and it is their job to hold me accountable to what I say, I would like to do for them. And so we had a discussion about that today, and continuing to move forward, it's developing that culture where those teachers feel safe and comfortable being able to hold me accountable, and then also in turn being held accountable to the same expectations that they hold for me. And so at the end of every encounter that we had together, at the end of our meeting yesterday and the end of our meeting today, we set some expectations together, and then we determined if we actually met those or not. Now those are short-term goals, but once we start moving and we get in the groove of the year starting, and we kind of get used to our procedures for COVID, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to develop some expectations and goals as a faculty and as a group. Where is it that we want to be here? And then how do we know when we've achieved those goals? And then what do we do next? So it's very important to me that input and that feedback from all of our stakeholders, not just faculty, but students and parents and family, that is all part of how we can measure success. It's not whether I think it was great. It's not whether my kid thinks it was great. It's about what we as a whole, and then also knowing what were we trying to accomplish, and how do we know if we accomplished it. So we have to have some very specific goals and some markers of achievement to know if we've gotten to that point.
Well, Ginny Medina-Hamilton, new principal of Vanderbilt Catholic High School and alum, equal parts of congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
You're coming off the honeymoon of congratulations,
Right.
and the good luck part is now kind of kicking in. Best of luck as we get through this school year, and hope everything goes well.
Thank you so much, Lonnie.
Thank you.